First thing, Maduro. I did not hear Senator Paul's criticism of the entire Maduro operation. He criticizes the indictment, the process by which we've extracted him, and further goes into ridicule of our justice system. Let me explain. I watched his interview on Piers Morgan Uncensored. I tend to watch Piers Morgan Uncensored from time to time. How I fit it in with my Smirkanish diet, workout drives. That's how it happens. My workouts and drives are basically politics shouting in my ear. Senator Paul had a very interesting line saying that in Maduro's indictment, he has an indictment for handling machine guns or something of that nature. And he said, if somebody is getting indicted for handling machine guns, every world leader should be indicted for handling a machine gun. And it just shows the machinery of our justice system and how he will be indicted and he will serve the rest of his life in our prison system and so on and so on and so on. I always knew Paul was more of a libertarian kind of guy. I tend to agree with him on how almost routine it is to indict and convict somebody in our justice system. But I'm not against the capture of Maduro. It sets a dangerous precedent for the world's order. But wow, I mean, it was an alternative take that I never heard before. Mainstream media, I mean, heck, even Michael's newsletter, to my knowledge and to my reading, never made a point of that kind of substance against the capture. So I was happy to hear that. Second, I want to focus on the Iran situation. Piers also had an Iranian professor, very pro-regime, and as we are, very appreciative of hearing alternative perspectives. The Iranian professor provided video footage of what he claims is protests against the terrorists in Iran. There was an Iranian on the stream in real time who said, those aren't protests against the terrorists in Iran. You're reusing footage from the funeral of Qasem Soleimani when Trump took him out. I don't know what the truth is behind that, but I hope that it does come out. The regime's stance, it's entertaining to hear at the very least, is that the United States and Israel are collaborating and stoking a revolution within Iran to overthrow the Ayatollah. So they had peaceful protests for about 7 days or something like that, according to the regime. And then after the seventh day, terror ensued, provoked by the U.S. and Iran. By the U.S. and Israel. So listen, I mean, you'll be able to ask me this on Sunday, but my parents and grandparents kept on telling me that when they lived under a dictatorship, they never even believed the weather forecast because of how they used to spin things in dictatorships and when a certain narrative needed to be achieved. And it's just I see it in real life. This is the Middle East. It's crazy stuff. Lastly, another passion of mine, in addition to Smirkanish, this community, and what I do for a living, is Open to Debate. Open to Debate has a new CEO. I know the people at Open to Debate. I would even argue personally, I go to almost every one of their New York City events, which there are plenty. And Open to Debate now has a new CEO. Clay O'Connor stepped down, and Leah, I forget the last name, stepped up as CEO. So we spoke yesterday. She had an introduction to the Open to Debate organization. And I spoke to somebody on the inside, and they let me know they're going to be spending a debate on whether the capture of Maduro was good for world order. So I have no problem cross-promoting that, and I may even work it into the programming here. So that's that. That's Open to Debate. That's what's going on in my life, and that's what I wanted to cover.